with me for 2023. I am so excited to start anew. I have some affirmations, I have some intentions and goals that I wanted to set and kind of dream about, and I wanted to bring you along with me so we can just dream together for this new year. One of the things that kind of started everything off is I got a new phone. I have switched from, I think I had an S9, a Samsung Galaxy S9, and that was 5 years old, and it was just really, it's not a bad phone. I will say that I liked the S7 way better, and I was kind of upset with myself for upgrading, but that's something else. So, I switched from Android to iPhone. I know that's like blasphemy and people don't do that, but so far I'm really, really liking it. I'm trying to get everything like cute because I've seen people do like the cute little, you know, emojis and everything for this, but so I basically wrote down a list that I wanted to go through of kind of like goals and intentions that I want to set for the new year. So the reason why I don't do resolutions is I do find them a little bit toxic because resolutions, they're kind of, at least the way I see them, it's basically they're set, and if you don't reach them, then you kind of feel like a failure. And I don't think that is something that is a good thing to think about yourself, because life is hard. Like, it's really hard, and I do think we should better ourselves, and that's why I kind of want to do intentions, because I think that they're a little bit more baby steps into bettering ourselves for the future. Okay, starting off, I kind of went into my notes and did everything there. But that kind of brings me into like my first point of what I actually want to do. And I have put the categories in two different categories. I have personal life, and then my other one is career. And when I say career, I'm talking about my voice acting. If you guys are new here, I'm also a voice actor. I do anime and video games. And when I say personal and life, it's just more bettering like myself, and some of the things I feel like can overlap a little bit. Some things that I want to do for me, but it could also be like for career. But also like within my career, I put in more like social media stuff because I want to market myself better and put myself out there more for basically just like marketing purposes and show people that I'm doing things, because I don't just voice act. I also will do stage and on camera when I can, and like I said, you need to be like seen and out there so people know who you are. So starting off, we're going to start off with life and personal and life. So these are my like intentions and determinations for this year. And the reason why I like saying this is because if I don't necessarily hit them, at least I have started taking steps into hitting them. That's kind of the reason why I don't like resolutions, because when you don't hit them, it's like, well, let me just start all over again. And no, I don't think that's a good thing. And some people need that pressure and really want to, you know, hone down on like one resolution. But I like to set intentions to take baby steps towards things. So my first one is being more organized. And this is something that's very hard for me. I am ADHD and dyslexic and all this kind of stuff. And I feel like that sometimes it's hard to like wrap my mind around like steps and what I need to do next. And so being more organized, and a lot of times for me to organize things, I have to literally just like go into a room, especially if it's like physical things that I need to organize. I don't know where to start. And so a lot of times I will have to go and just like sit in the room and just visualize and figure out, okay, what do I need? How can I make this look good? Because I don't want to just organize. I want it to look a certain way. And my room right now is just, I can make it look kind of nice, but it's still not exactly how I want it to be. And a lot of times I just get really tired and I will just leave my luggage in there. I won't put my clothes up after doing laundry, and things definitely pile up. Another thing that kind of goes into this organization is I have been a little introduced in digital planning, and digital planning is kind of hard. Like I didn't actually realize how hard it was going to be, but also planners that I have used in the past is Happy Planner, and these are so cute. They're a little pricey, but I do think it's worth it because I paid a little more for it. It's going to be something that I'm going to actually use. So I will put links also down below if you want to do this. And so for physical planners, I really enjoy the Happy Planner. And for digital planning, I have been following Happy Downloads. And she also has free planners that you can get. And so I'm using her free planner right now to kind of just like learn how to digital plan, because it kind of takes some time, but that's good for me. So that was my next one was planning and digital planning, and that kind of goes under the organization thing. So next up is eating better. Okay, it's not that I eat horrible. I'm usually pretty good at, I do like to eat healthy, but a lot of times, again, when I get tired, I love chips. I can eat a whole bag of chips, and I'm trying to limit myself to just like snacking all the time, because a lot of times I'll just snack all day, and then when time comes for an actual meal, I don't eat and get the nutrients necessarily that I need. It's just not all the time, but I just want to be better about that, and be better at just like filling myself full of like vitamins and things that will keep me healthy and keep me feeling well. This next one is to start dancing again. And I feel like since I'm a performer, this could be under career and life, but yes, start dancing again. So if you guys are new here and you don't know, I'm not like the best dancer in the world, but I really got into like hip hop and K-pop dancing a few years ago, and I was on a team, and I really wanted to learn the foundations and really get into it. And I had danced before then. Like I had ballet training, I had tap and jazz and musical theater type training, and hip hop was always one that I wanted to do. And someone who is a little like ADHD and dyslexic, you can either you can really understand combinations and remember combinations, or you can be on the opposite spectrum of that and combinations really trip you up. So I'm on the side where the combinations, I cannot remember combinations unless I make them muscle memory. So retaining a lot of the choreography was extremely, extremely hard for me. And I also have some other health issues that made it hard as well. But I would be so far behind, and I could never memorize a dance like within our practice. It was always, I would have to go home and work on it for hours. And I believe, I mean, it was like 3 years of intense training, and I always felt like I was getting worse. And so it ended up becoming a toxic environment for me, where I had to just like kind of quit. And I felt like I also had a lot of other life things happening at the time. My health was getting horrible. I could not, I was passing out all the time, and you know, that's another video for another time. So I want to try to find a hip hop class, like an adult hip hop class. Doesn't necessarily have to be K-pop, but I do want to actually learn the foundations, because we got into it and we kind of started learning the foundations of dance, and I think that would have helped me so much better. But then we got into, oh, we're going to perform and do this, and then I would never like make the dances that I wanted to make. But it ended up just being, I lost like all confidence in myself as a performer, as far as just like really going at it. And I think that would definitely help, like exercise and things like that. Next up is appreciating the small things in life. This is something that if you watched my last like 5 videos, my Christmas videos, I kind of started filming a little bit differently. I really emphasize like B-roll, and it's not perfect and I'm still learning how to do it, but I really want to romanticizing the small things in life, because I think, you know, way too much, we really try to, you know, pursue our goals and keep going because we're running out of time and all this kind of stuff. And we forget to really appreciate the small things in our life. We forget to appreciate that conversation we had with our friend that just meant everything. We forget to appreciate the snuggles with our dog, or just the time spending with our significant other. And I think it's very important to really appreciate those things and start romanticizing your life, because it's yours, it's the only one you get, so why not appreciate everything that's going into it? So next up is working out. If obviously if I start a dance class, and that might be once a week, this will be a part of that, but I know for sure I want to do 2 times a week. 3 would be ideal, but for sure I want to do 2. And what I'm focusing on right now is more, I want to do like Pilates type workout. And I usually just will put on a YouTube video because I'm just not ready to join a gym yet. But I want to do like Pilates and boxing. I want to do more boxing because I really do miss when I'm in Texas. I do the boxing with my dad, but I'm not in Texas right now. So my coach actually back in Texas gave me this girl's YouTube. I don't remember what it is, but I could put it down in the link. And he said he was very impressed with like her above the belt, like punching and everything. So he recommended doing her workout. So I am definitely going to look that up. And so I will probably be utilizing that and a Pilates and a yoga type stuff for like mental health. Ooh, this next one. Okay, so I know this isn't a word, but I said forgive hurtness. This I have not talked about a lot, but I am trying to move on still. It's been about 3 years. Yeah, 2.5, 3 years now that it's 2023. So before I moved out here and before I got a job at the marketing place that I'm at right now, I worked for a company called Miss A. It was one of, other than acting, it was the best job I have ever had. I loved everything about that job. It incorporated everything that I love, incorporated me like making videos, incorporated me talking about products and makeup and tutorials. And we were even able to start doing some really creative things for the company, like writing scripts and doing skits for giveaways. And those took a lot of time. And it was one of those things where I was going above and beyond what my job had called for, and I wasn't getting compensated for that. And at the time I didn't care because I loved what I did. I would do things off the clock for them. They would ask and I would just be the first one to, maybe not the first one, but I would be like, yeah, I'll volunteer. What happened there is after, when the pandemic happened, we were furloughed, and I totally understood that. Like, I didn't care. During that time, our creative director, I guess, of just the creative department ended up leaving, and they hired on a marketing director. So my job, what my job description was I was the spokesperson, and I was essentially hired on to be like the face of the company. So the people could associate a face like with Miss A, and I would go live. And I also had a coworker, and we were both like faces of the company. So people could like come to us and ask us questions, and we would go live on Instagram and, you know, make videos, product videos, saying what was coming. We would model for products, and it was amazing. I loved it. And originally, like, we weren't really doing like the photo shoots and stuff like that. And so that became part of our job. And so we were actually doing more than what our job was. So when the marketing director came on, I don't know if she knew what we did, but basically she was like changing our jobs. I was hourly, I was $14 an hour. I had just gone full time right before the pandemic because of life situations. They approved me to go full time. And when I came back, I was no longer full time, and I wasn't even getting paid hourly anymore. They were paying us like influencers that did not work for the company. And we were influencers, but we worked for the company. Like, we were in-house. And as a spokesperson, like I never did anything negative because we were still working for the company. She basically was changing our jobs and did not want us to be the face anymore. but did not talk to us about it. She said we could not come without makeup on, because a lot of times we would come without makeup on because part of our jobs was we would do our makeup and do get ready with me's at the thing. So I stopped wearing makeup to the place because I ended up having to take it off and redoing it. So we weren't allowed to do that anymore. It was extremely micromanaged, and I was barely even making $200 a month. And I had to move away from the Dallas area because I didn't have a job, because nobody had a job during that first part of the pandemic. So I was driving over an hour to work now, and I wasn't even, I'm like, this is not even paying for like my living situations or groceries or the gas over there. And I tried to talk to people about it, and so she basically changed our jobs without us even going to like having it written out and us signing it saying that our jobs were changing. And we were no longer the face of the company. They wanted to put other people and go more the influencer route instead of just having us. And I understand, like with marketing, like, yeah, you want to have other people, and that's totally fine. Like there was nothing against that, but it was that we weren't told. And basically we couldn't, do our jobs. And she wanted me to be the one that talked to the influencers, and that was like recruiting people. And that was actually somebody else's job, who was more of like the marketing like coordinator. And that's what she wanted to change my job to. And I was like, I was very confused, because I was like, I didn't actually say that I wanted my job to change. And then she said our direct boss, mine and my coworker's direct boss, could not come and have meetings with us by herself, because she was afraid that we were talking about her. And she would literally try to listen to us through the wall. And that's when I was just like, fine, I can't work in an environment like this. I'm not even getting paid full time. I'm single. I am living by myself now, and I have to pay for things. So I almost started crying, because I didn't want to quit, because I loved what I did, but she was changing her job, so my job didn't exist anymore. And me and my coworker at that time decided to go ahead and walk away. We tried to reach out to the HR and the owners. The owners didn't really want to talk to us. HR did, and she was so sweet, and she actually sided with us, which is very rare. So that's very long-winded. After 3 years, I'm trying to get past that and finally talk about it and just kind of forgive and move on, because it's something that I'm still holding on to, because I still feel very hurt, I guess, by the situation. I'm still friends with people that work there, and I still think they're amazing people, so I have nothing against that. That is just my situation and what happened to me. The next one is pretty simple. I want to drink more water. I need to drink more water. So I have this, my sister got this for me for Christmas. And the last one that I have for my personal, I'm sure there's more things, and that's what I like about intentions. You can add things throughout the year. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be something that, this is it. So adding things throughout the year is also a good thing. But I also want to volunteer at an animal shelter. I'm a huge advocate for animals and animal rights and adoptions. I think that there are so many amazing animals in the shelter that just need loving people to take them home and to adopt them. I actually have one more, and that was to work on my health, my actual physical health. I have a lot of health issues that I want to work through. Just autoimmune things. And one of the main things that I really want to work on is my exhaustion. So my husband's working out right now, or he's doing jumping jacks. My exhaustion is like a big thing. I go to bed, and it doesn't matter if I get any 8 hours of sleep or 15 hours of sleep. I'm always tired, no matter what. So I want to try to figure out why, because it's either, I know my parents told me as a kid I was kind of the same way. They had a hard time waking me up, but I wake up and I'm never awake throughout the day. So I'm never fully awake. And so I feel like I can't give like 100% like I want to for anything that I do, because my eyes always feel like I'm going to close. And a lot of times I feel like I'm going to fall asleep even driving to work. Next up, this one's a little bit shorter because it's more like career driven, and a lot of things that I felt like some of my personal stuff went under this as well, but I just went ahead and put it under personal. So as far as career goals, and like I said, when I say career, I'm talking about like my acting and voice acting. I'm talking about my social media, marketing myself, and things like that. So work with a coach. I have a coach in mind that I want to start working with, and I've worked with acting coaches in the past. And one of the main reasons I wanted to get another job is to have the money to actually have a coach, because they're not cheap. That is the first step for me, kind of like getting my career back to where I want it. Of course, the next one is look for agents in LA and Midwest. Since I am technically in the Midwest right now, I do think that it would be a good idea for me to, because I didn't even think about that, because a lot of the things that I think about is, well, obviously like anime and video games, and that's more Texas and LA. And Texas is really weird right now with one of the main studios that I work with, because you can't really get any new characters unless you record in studio. I am able to record Kinoko from where I am now, because I already had that role. So if it's a reoccurring character, I'm allowed to film. Wow, I'm allowed to record it here. But if it's not, then I have to travel to Texas. Next up is to be more consistent with YouTube and Instagram and actually start like planning out my content. I know in order to actually be successful like on these platforms, you really need to be more consistent. And I haven't always been consistent since starting this channel. I definitely kind of got more consistent during the Christmas ones because I really enjoyed making those. I know they didn't have a ton of views, but it's fine. Like, I'm still learning here. And so I definitely want to be more consistent because I love creating content. And it's been a little harder having the other job and doing the stuff for me, but at least with the other job, I'm able to make some money so I can like upgrade my gear and upgrade things that I want to make my content better. It's just, something that you have to do. You have to make little sacrifices for yourself. You do what you don't want to do so you can do what you want to do. So another thing that I think would help me is leveling up, obviously, my videography and editing skills. And this is like taking classes. So if you guys like know of any either online classes that I can take, that would be awesome. I really wanted to go and possibly take some at a community college, but it all also just depends on the pricing. Some people say don't do that. You don't need to go back to school to do that. But I learned very different. I don't learn very well online. That was like my first C in college, was like an online class that did not work out for me. I didn't understand it. And I feel like if it's something like that, I'm not going to put in the effort, versus if I'm going to a class, then I'm going to put in the effort because I'm going to this class. I know I had some more, but this is, for some reason, when I was making my list, like my mind went completely blank. So I definitely will be adding to this list like throughout the year, is to learn more about graphic design and Photoshop. I do not understand Photoshop at all. I use Canva for like all of my things, and I actually do have Canva Pro, and it gives you access to a lot more. Now I know like Photoshop and design and all the Adobe Creative Cloud, like especially if I want to work and do more graphic design in the future, that is a skill that I really do need to learn, and as career-wise will be more marketable. So yes, in order to like just be more versatile and marketable, I know that is a skill. And so again, if you know of any classes that I can take, my exhaustion will get in the way sometimes, and that's why I really want to figure out what is wrong and what's causing my exhaustion. Because if it's something having to do with my health and there's something that I can do to make it better, that would be amazing. But if not, and if it's just like me, well, you know, because like I said, my parents said I was always hard to wake up, even as a kid. And I always felt like kids, they usually wake up early until they get to like their teenage phase, but not me. Apparently, like I was a brick and couldn't. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for dreaming with me for this new year and setting intentions, having affirmations. Some of these things that I want to look at this list, like, you know, every couple of days to make sure I'm on the right track. And so I do encourage you to do it too. And if you have any goals or intentions that you want to put into the comments that I might add to my list, that would be amazing. So let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys the rest of this year. I already have a few videos planned, so I'm so excited. So see you in the future. Bye.